my three main influences, three main books I read to get to my current stage of growth. In all reality, I've spoke with some of the highest people in the game, and one of my mentors, my good friend, Bedros, he says that most top dudes read 5 books in their life. 5 books. I'm going to give you my top 3. They read 5 and they reread them. Obviously, people read a bunch more books, but these 5 main ones facilitate your growth and become who you are. They shape the level of thought pattern that you currently have. My ability to tap into higher intelligence came from one book in particular, but let me explain how I don't fucking tell people to read books. I tell them to read quotes because the end goal is to increase cognition, not just simply read. It can have the adverse effect if you simply just read books and you're not thinking about what you read. In all reality, you should spend more time thinking about what you read than actually thinking. So every morning I read the quickest passage I can read, the quickest quote I can read, the quickest verse I can read, and then I spend about an hour or 45 minutes really reconstructing it in my own words and thinking about how it applies to my life, thus running through a mental exercise and increasing cognition. So the fact is why would you go to a secondhand source when you got the plug's number? When you got the plug's number, you go to the plug. That's why I don't read no more. I got the plug's number. The plug is higher intelligence. The plug is infinite intelligence. The plug is the universe. And that's why all these messages are the same. I keep saying it ain't no Robbins, it ain't no Goggins, there ain't no Watson. There's none of this. There's none of this. There is messages being delivered and then re-deciphered and passed on to you guys. We're passing on the knowledge and information and messages to you guys, and I know you can get them, and I want to help you. That's why I always preach that morning process. That's why I say, hey, you want answers? The fucking floor is right there. Go get your money. Go get your answers. That's why I say that. Because I find my answers in the morning. I go to the gym to find my answers. I find answers about who the fuck I am and who I'm yet to be. But let's get into these books because I'll get fucking sidetracked, as you guys know I do. I'll start just talking about growth. One of my favorite fucking books, the very first book I picked up when I gave up. First, I gave up on all fucking vices and all negative acts that I could in the pen. Obviously, I still had to fucking check people, handle business, and conduct the fucking and have the conduct of a fucking inmate, of a convict, of a Cali CDC GP motherfucker. Had to do a certain level of shit, but I denounced a lot of it, everything I could. So the fact is, the first book I picked up was Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. What stood out to me most in this book is the energy exchange I speak of. This energy exchange in the book came as a story. These 2 parents had a kid, and he wasn't that good at sports. He wasn't the most fucking physically efficient kid on the block. He wasn't the most physically efficient kid on the block. And his parents knew this. So in their subconscious, they always placated him a little bit. They always gave him a little leeway. They always accommodated his shortcomings in this area, which is what we don't do. By accommodating his shortcomings and seeing him as less is what those parents, where they fucked up. They hindered his ability to grow and get better at these sports by doing that. When they rewired their subconscious to see his strengths, to only see the best and believe the best in him, their son went on to excelling in physical activities because they treated him differently. They raised him, they raised their vibration and frequency towards him, thus raising his. When we think about people, that's why I'm such a good coach. I'm going to say it. That's why I'm so good at being a coach. And I love it. That's why I'm so good. Because I only see your higher self. I only see what you could be. That's why I get frustrated when you're not being it. Because I know it's a lot easier to be the best version of yourself than to live as a shoddy motherfucking version of yourself. But that's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And I love that book. It has so much other shit. Gems upon gems. Read it. It's one of the must reads that I've experienced in my life. Another one comes from the great, a man so far before his time. It would fuck your mind up to read all his books at once, or even many chapters at once. You read his books slowly, and you fucking increase your cognition. You increase your thought capacity to a level you never knew. Humans operate out of capacities, and when you consistently work on your capacity for these areas, you increase your ability. So Napoleon Hill, outwitting the devil. It's a conversation between a man and the devil. And in this, he depicts karmic debt to a T. This is what stopped me from doing my shit. This right here, I was still doing dirt. Not as much as before, but I was still doing dirt when I came across this book, and this made me stop. 98% of the dirt I couldn't avoid. I tried to avoid it at every cost after I read this, and I knew karmic debt to be true. We all fucking know karma's true, you motherfuckers. Follow that. Karmic debt. It is in the book. He depicts it as we are given 24 hours each day, and through our positive acts, those 24 hours are productive. You can pull off anything you want in those 24 hours. If your will is there to pull it off and you're willing to work for it, you're given those 24. But through your negative acts, you're punished an eye for an eye with time. And I always say this, you guys have heard me say it before. Go argue with someone on the phone or in person and realize how you're attached to that event, to the severity of which you argued with them for an allotted amount of time. If you really cuss that person out, call them some shit, treat them like shit, you'll probably be attached to that moment in time for about 3 to 4 hours. So for the next 3 to 4 hours after that moment passes, you will not have productive time on this planet. That is karmic debt, and it's just as bad. It can go as bad as life in prison, to where you never have a productive day because you were such a piece of shit. It's always on your subconscious. You're never able to get it off your mind. Or 7 years is when I felt my karmic debt lift. 5 to 7 years is where I felt my karmic debt lift when I quit adding to that shit. I quit adding to my karmic debt, and it lifted around 5 to 7 years for the heinous acts I used to do on the street before I went to prison and was incarcerated. So karmic debt is what I learned mainly. These are some main points I learned from these books. Karmic debt's one of the main points I learned from Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil. One of the next books, so profound, so massive, written in such a quality format. Oh my, it's how I would love to read a book. Perfectly done. 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class by Steve Siebold. This book is perfectly written. You need to read this book. This is the man. I knew about self-talk. I spent so much fucking time with myself. I knew my self-talk more than I knew anybody else. So I knew about self-talk. But the way Steve Siebold teaches you to solidify your core principles and who you are with your self-talk is fucking groundbreaking. That man he's like my fucking brother from another fucking mother, Steve Siebold. He also in other books goes on to depict how being fat fucks up your business. And this is all so fucking true. It's so fucking true. Who we are when we do the fucking dishes is who we are in our fucking workout. If you fucking sacrifice all your pleasures to get up so fucking early every day for over a decade, there's no fucking way you're going to let your goals slip through your fingers for some fucking instant gratification. You will not bend. I want this so bad for you guys. Read these books. You guys have been asking me for my book picks for a long time. So here it is. And this is the perfect timing. Everyone's going to be reading a lot. So the fact is I believe you should go to the fucking source if you're at that level. If you're not at that level, it's okay. Drop your fucking ego. A lot of times people's ego gets in the way of them leveling up. If you haven't spent a lot of time with yourself, reflecting, understanding who you are, solidifying your core principles and values through your self-talk, if you haven't spent time doing this, then you shouldn't expect to be good at it. A lot of motherfuckers, they go into something expecting to be good at it so quick that they fucking quit. Motherfuckers quit tracking their macros so quick because they can't understand it. Stress management is a key to your fucking potential. Manage stress better. How do you manage it better? Drop your fucking ego. You're not supposed to know all this shit so quick. Embrace it. Sit with yourself. Get frustrated. Overcome it. Make yourself proud. I love you guys. This is the time. This is the time for you guys to step up. Let's grow.